a wild wolf burst through the hospital's entrance, its powerful presence sending shockwaves through the corridors. The sight of the ferocious creature caused panic and confusion among the staff and patients. The nurses scattered, seeking shelter from the wolf's imposing figure. Among them was a young nurse named Emily. With wide eyes and trembling hands, she watched as the wolf prowled through the hospital, its fierce gaze piercing through the chaos. However, Emily noticed something unusual. The wolf carried something in its jaws. Emily tries calming everyone because she notices that the wolf is carrying something. It looks like a small creature, but it is not a wolf. The hospital security immediately starts evacuating the hospital. They can't risk anyone getting hurt by the wolf. Emily decides to take matters into her own hands. This was her one chance to really make a difference. Emily manages to lock the wolf with the small creature in a room. Then the wolf suddenly gets very aggressive and tries jumping Emily. Emily tries to make herself small to let the wolf know that she is there to help the wolf out. She knows that the wolf desperately needs the help of her or a veterinarian. Emily is in luck, and the wolf seems to calm down. Then Emily decides to seek help from a willing doctor. All the doctors seem very reluctant to help Emily. She pleads with them to just follow her. They tell her that they called animal control to remove the wolf from the hospital. She finally finds a close friend of hers and a good surgeon who is willing to go with her to see what is going on. When they get close to the room, they hear howling. The wolf seems to get very concerned about the well-being of the small creature. There seems to be a strong connection between the creature and the wolf. Emily tries to get closer, but the wolf instantly shows her teeth. Emily quickly realizes that this isn't going to get easy. She doesn't know what to do. Emily doesn't give up, and by some miracle, the wolf only lets her get closer to the creature. Emily doesn't know what to do. She has no clue what the creature could be, but it seems very weak. Emily knows that they need to bring in an animal expert, preferably a veterinarian. However, the nearest one is still pretty far away. She instantly gets a hold of the veterinarian, and when she explains the situation, the vet is instantly silent. For several seconds, no response came. Emily had the feeling that something was very wrong. He asks Emily to describe the creature for her. He has absolutely no idea what it is and how to help it. But he realizes that it is getting weaker by the minute. The wolf suddenly starts howling, as if it realizes something is wrong. Emily recognizes that there is something more about it. The wolf seems suddenly really on edge. Then some police officers burst into the room to check if everyone is all right. She tells them to back off. Then the wolf does something unexpected. The wolf walks towards the door. It looks like it wants Emily to follow him. Emily has no clue what is going on, but a sense of urgency is in the air, and Emily can't ignore the wolf. She follows the wolf outside. It seems to be heading towards the forest. She calls a friendly animal expert from the local animal sanctuary to tell her where she is heading. He urges her against blindly following the wolf. Emily starts hesitating. She shares her live location with David. She can't wait for David to show up and decides to head into the dense forest with the wolf guiding her. The deeper they get into the forest, the more anxious Emily gets. She feels like she is being watched. Emily is on edge and almost against when she hears a loud noise. She then realizes she is getting called by someone. She picks up the phone, but she almost has no signal. She hears the vet on the other side stuttering. It vaguely sounds like he urges her to go back. Emily knows it is an urgent call. The wolf is staring at her in desperation. Emily starts to doubt her choices. Should she go towards the noises, or should she decide to back off now? Emily decides to muster all of her courage to keep on following the noises. She senses she is close. She feels a shiver down her spine when the forest starts getting more dense. This time she is certain that someone is close to her. She definitely knows she is being watched now. Then she turns pale when she hears a voice in the distance shouting at her. Due to the adrenaline, Emily doesn't recognize the voice. But when she looks up, she realizes it is David, who luckily caught up to her. The wolf doesn't know who David is and starts to charge towards him. Emily realizes what is going on and throws herself in between the wolf and David. Right before impact, the wolf stops its attack. Emily sighs in relief. The wolf seems to realize David is there to help. It turns around again and hints that both Emily and David should be following now. David was so shocked about the sudden charge that he fell down and asks Emily what exactly is going on. Emily tells him that she has absolutely no idea about the gravity of the situation or what they are chasing. David follows closely behind Emily when he picks up the distress noises as well. The sounds are getting increasingly louder with every step they take toward them. Finally, they get to the source of the noises. They realize they come from down an old well. Something probably fell down the well. The wolf hints at the fact this is where he wants Emily and David to help. It is really dark inside of the well. They can't see anything. However, they definitely know that there is something down there. They hear it. By a stroke of luck, David had brought some rope with him. He tells Emily that it is strong enough to hold him so he can rappel down. Emily is hesitant. This could go very wrong. She feels like she isn't strong enough. David takes a deep breath and lets himself go over the edge while Emily grabs the rope tightly. David rappels down, then Emily panics while the rope slips away from him. The rope isn't tied well enough around her waist, and she suddenly hears David scream and a loud noise. He grabs the phone and activates the flashlight. Then he finally realizes what was making the noise. David points the flashlight toward the noises and sees more of these tiny animals. He shouts to Emily what he sees. She realizes that the one in the hospital was not the only one. After about 15 minutes, David got all the animals to the surface. They were now staring at a total of 5 animals. They had to get them safely to the hospital. David and Emily can only carry 2 each, which still leaves them with 1. However, they realized that the wolf could carry 1 of them as well. They picked up the animals and started making a run for it. When they arrived at the hospital, they were told to hand over the animals and wait in the waiting room of the operating room. They cannot enter the room under any circumstance. After a while, the vet opened the door and let them inside. He told them they were just in time and that they had managed to save the animals. Emily turns to the vet and asks for an explanation. Apparently these animals are a crossbreed between a wild dog and a wolf. He can't tell how they ended up inside the well, but these pups are very rare. Emily was completely against letting them back into the wild. They need to go to someplace safe. Luckily, David works for the local animal sanctuary, and they still have room for these animals. Emily now regularly visits the wolf, and even the pups recognize her and David now. She gets a lot of love from them. She is happy that she made the choice to conquer her fears and follow the wolf into the forest that day to save the animals.